These high hills have proved rich pickings for people who show scant regard for the importance of ancient forests, supposedly immune from exploitation. They don't even try to hide their business. It's all piled up on the roadside, despite commercial logging in the national park being illegal. Nor did it take long to find the loggers. We'd been warned they might be armed, so we kept our camera at a distance. They insisted they'd won a government auction, which allowed them to do this fairly. The environmental activists trying to stop it say none of this could happen without the government knowing.
These logging concessions are most of the times approved by the state, but when we write letters and make complaints, the minister herself is answering to us that there should be no logging in national parks. So there is a little contradiction here. They approve it and they say it's not legal at the same time.
But you can see it. I mean, we just drove up the track and it's here. You can't miss it, can you?
It's all over in any national park.
In the town which sits below the national park, a huge steelworks used to provide employment for nearly everyone, but not anymore. Nothing was found to replace the jobs, so it's easy to see why logging became such a large industry. Romania's forests are vast, which is partly why the loggers get away with it. Some of this woodland is among the oldest in Europe, but large areas have been cut out of it. The government keeps secret any records of what's legal and what isn't, so global companies which buy Romanian timber for furniture cannot know the origin of the wood. Alina worked for the forestry agency for 14 years. When she complained about all of this, she says she was intimidated and isolated, ultimately forced to resign.
I
was questioned by my directors. As a biologist, I was prevented from doing fieldwork, forbidden from going to logging areas in the park. They kept me on minimum wage. They did everything they could to stop me from being able to speak out. They cut me off.
Romania currently enjoys the privilege of holding the presidency of the Council of the European Union, which means it has the opportunity to set policy objectives for the whole of the EU, including on the environment. And yet, despite all the evidence to the contrary, the Romanian government still insists that nothing illegal has been happening inside its own protected forests. Their own ministers have been saying as much to the European Parliament, even though it has been presented with evidence suggesting the very opposite.
We are talking about illegal logging in private forests where there were no proper services for guarding these forests.
30 years ago, the Romanian people rose up against their dictatorial leader, Nicolae Ceausescu, and embarked on a journey to democracy which for the first time has put their country into a leadership position across Europe. For all of that, Romania maintains a reputation as having a thick covering of corruption it seems unable to shake off. Laurence, Al Jazeera, in Western Romania.